Hey there. It is September 5th, the last Friday before camp. And I've got Neil Young tunes and Crosby, Stills, Nash tunes on my mind, partly because we put together a new pack of, a 25 pack of songs from their first 3 albums. So I had some of these out, Four-Way Street and Deja Vu and stuff. And every time I think, that's of course Cowgirl in the Sand. And it's a blast to play because it's got techniques in it that are really, I guess it's going to turn into a technique lesson first, before I get into the news. Practice palm muting there. Now, there are 2 things going on there. One is I'm moving my hand, I'm just hitting the 5th string. But as I'm hitting it, this part of my hand right there is landing right on the saddle. And if I'm too far out here, it's muted completely. If I'm not far enough back, or if I'm too far back, you get that. So you got to find the right spot. And then one of my students we spent a lot of time at his lesson this week working on rest strokes, meaning hitting a bass note, coming from a bit of an angle out here, and coming to rest on the next string. So in this case, I'm hitting the 5th string with just the tip of the pick, but more of the pick lands on the 4th string, and that stops me from getting this happening. Like getting too many strings. So right there, I was playing all of those as rest strokes by coming in at an angle and hitting the pick, kind of hitting into the hole. Anyway, practice that a little bit. It's really useful for getting good volume. You can hit the strings really hard when you do that. Let's see, what else is going on? Oh, Nash got us a new lesson, a Mamas and Papas tune, dedicated to the one I love. Beautiful vocals in that and stuff like that. So hope everybody gets a chance to take a look at that. And I think I want to play something here that sometimes what the teachers try to do at IGC is play some things together. And one of the things we always push at camp is for campers to collaborate with other campers and work on playing some things together. And then especially for the last night, and then to get up on stage and perform something that they've worked up with somebody else. And sometimes then the teachers sort of try to do this, but we never have time to actually practice these things. So we sometimes just get up on stage and fake it, or it's like we rehearse it in front of people. But this time, my friend Mike, who just sent me I better not send you guys, put this picture up here, but a picture of the 2 of us 50 years ago at his 21st birthday. It was September 1st, a couple days ago. And we were sitting on his couch. Probably had been drinking home brew at the time. Okay, too much information. But we talked about a song that we might be able to play together. So I'm gonna do a rough draft right here. This is for Mike to play along with and then have ready for camp. So if you're coming to camp and you've already seen this, just ignore it when we play it, probably Monday night. See if you recognize it in the beginning. You may not songs from this era had what you might call a verse and then a refrain. And the verse is the part that is kind of an introduction, and you might never hear it again. But the chorus or what was called the refrain then, is usually pretty famous. Let's see if I can get through this. Oh, let me a little more background first on the weirdness of this. When I was about that same age, about 20, I was teaching at a music store called Union Grove Music in Los Gatos. And this guy came in. This was kind of shady deals with fake books. One, the most famous one was called The Real Book. And he had them in his car. He had a trunk full of these things that he would come into music stores and show you what he had, and then go out and get whatever you decided you wanted to have, or whatever you wanted to buy and have in the store. And these were kept behind the counter or under the counter because they were sort of copyright infringement things. And, you know, being a fan of bootleg albums and all that kind of stuff, I thought, bootleg books, this is really cool. Well, the first one I got was called Golden Standards of the 1900s. And this was songs from the 20s and 30s, stuff like, so I spent a lot of time just flipping through the book, you know, and there might be 200 or 300 songs in one of these books. And it was just a lead sheet. It just had the melody and the chords. And let's see. Oh, I don't think I... Songs like that. I'm lucky I remembered that. And this one I'm sure I could... Now I'm going to tell you, I'm sure I'll remember this one, and we'll see how it goes. Those are at least two, and I probably had dozens of these that I enjoyed playing and put together some ragtimey arrangements of them. So here's one that I probably am not going to remember all the way through, but we'll see how it goes. See if you can recognize this one from the intro. Then we just go through the chord progression. E7, it's in the key of G, and it has a whole sequence of secondary dominants. Starting on E7, went to A7, then to D7. Each of those is 5 of the next chord. Finally, back home to 1, G. Bounce to 5. Secondary dominant of 6 to 6 as a dominant, E7 again. To A7. Relative minor. Anyway, people my age remember that. Well, you know what? I bet they're still using it as a theme song. The Harlem Globetrotters, and that was of course Sweet Georgia Brown. So, okay, I think that is it. I'm brushed up and worn out, and I'm looking forward to camp. And speaking of which, we'll have a couple more camps next year. If you can't make this one, the one in September will probably start on the 14th, I think. And the April one is going to be on the 23rd. 23rd to the 26th? No, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, 27th. 23 to 27. And then September 14th to the 18th, I guess, for the fall one. Okay, so I may not see you next week, but because we'll be kind of coming home and recovering. But that is it for September, the first Monday in September. No, the first Friday in September. That's where we are. So long.